Welcome to episode 3, Purchasing an Electric Vehicle. So you've made the decision, whatever your reasons are, to finally make the leap and purchase a fully electric car. You're in luck because your timing couldn't be better. 2020 is an exciting year in the world of EVs. There was a time, actually only a year or two ago, when choices were extremely limited, when looking for an electric vehicle could be very challenging. You could basically either buy a Tesla Model S if you had a spare $100,000 or so, or a Nissan Leaf, and later a Chevy Bolt. But no more. There's been a literal explosion of new models for 2020. This is the year many legacy car manufacturers have come out with lots of choices for EVs. Now we see some superb offerings in almost every category of car or SUV. There are now choices for economical utility vehicles, luxury sedans, SUVs, and high performance or luxury vehicles. Europe is years ahead of North America and has literally dozens of choices for EVs, with releases of electric Peugeots, electric options for Seat, a branch of Volkswagen, Renault, Volkswagen, Mercedes, just to name a few. In fact, there are dozens. However, what I wanted to do here was only look at what's available in 2020 in the US and Canada, and in particular Canada. Let's start with the Nissan Leaf. Since after Tesla, it's been around the longest. Despite different issues that they've had with range related to poor battery management, for 2020, the Leaf gets a bigger battery, longer range, fast DC charging. Price-wise, it starts at about $44,000 for the SV, gets a 40 kilowatt hour battery or 243 kilometers of range, and is pretty loaded. It comes with a 17-inch wheels and navigation, Apple Play, Android, Auto, and some driver assist features. The S Plus starts to get you into a longer range car with a 62 kilowatt hour battery, should get you about 360 kilometers. Fast charge at 100 kilowatts, which is quite quick, fills up in about 40 minutes to 80%. You get a bigger motor with a nice boost in horsepower and a 100 kilowatt charging port. The SV Plus gives you more driver assist features for parking assist and lane changing. So pros for the Nissan would be that it's a decent commuter for around town, dropping off the kids, going to work. It now has some practicality for long distance travel and decent storage. The con would be not much innovation, no battery management, and the problem is at $46,000, there are lots of other options in the EV world other than the Leaf now. Now let's look at the Chevy Bolt. Chevy Bolt is a bit pricey. It starts at $49,000, comes with a 60 kilowatt hour, 400 kilometer range, 7.2 kilowatt charging, and DC fast charging capable, 55 kilowatts, which is about 200 kilometers an hour. It has about a 200 horsepower equivalent, so a decent size engine. So one of the pros is a decent range. I would say one of the cons is a limit to DC charging. It's a little bit slow, and at $49,000, it's a little bit pricey. And also the interior fit and finish leaves a little bit to be desired. From Hyundai for 2020, they offer two electric vehicles, an Ioniq Electric, which is a sedan, and a Kona SUV. The Ioniq Electric starts at about $37,000 and goes up to $43,000. It comes with a 38.3 kilowatt hour battery with 310 kilometer range. It has 100 kilowatt CCS DC rapid charging and takes about an hour to charge from 30%. Pro is the price, decent range. Con, I would say, is the range is a little bit disappointing. The Kona SUV starts at $45,000, goes up to $53,000, comes with a 64 kilowatt hour battery, which gives 415 kilometer range. has 100 kilowatt CCS DC charging, and charges in less than an hour from 30% to 80%. The base is $44,000, but then you need to upgrade to about $3,000 more to get a heat pump and a battery management system, which is crazy because lots of EVs come with this. It also has to be activated by the driver manually by placing the car in winter mode. For an additional $7,000, you get the higher packages with the LED lights and extra range and lots of driver assist features. Has lots of comforts, connectivity with phone, driver assist packages, and wireless charging pads. The pro for this vehicle is price for the base is decent, but you need to add to that to get battery management BMS system. However, the BMS system is manually activated, which to me is a con. This should be automatic, and a lot of the bulbs in the vehicle are filament, old-fashioned bulbs, which is a bit of a disappointment. In fact, there's no charging ports in the rear seat. From Kia comes two very interesting entries for 2020. There's the e-Niro and the Kia Soul. The e-Niro, the EX, and SX Touring, they start at $44,000 and go up to $53,000. Comes with a 64 kilowatt hour battery, giving a range of about 385 kilometers. The SX comes with a roof and some driver assist features, smart cruise and lane keeping. Has 100 kilowatt fast DC charging with a CCS format that charges less than 1 hour from 30% to 80%. One of the pros of this vehicle is it's a decent range, the price is reasonable, good passenger space, excellent trunk space, very good fit and finish in the interior, has some added features like scheduled departure, and has an overall very good value as an SUV. One of the cons is the design is pretty straightforward. It doesn't look like an EV, it looks like just any other crossover SUV, and there are no charging ports in the rear seats. From Kia is the Soul EV and Soul EV Limited. Start at $42,000, goes all the way up to about $52,000, about a 240 kilometer range or 380 kilometer range depending on which variation you have. Has 100 kilowatt fast DC charging with a CCS format. Very good price. Possible con here would be the design may not be for everyone, and the storage space. The trunk is actually quite a bit smaller than the Kona at 680 liters. Now in the luxury vehicle space, BMW is competing with, Tesla is competing with I-Pace from Jaguar. And Jaguar's offering for 2020 is a pretty nice one with the I-Pace. Starts at $89,000, but pretty quickly works its way up to $99,000 once you add pretty much anything to it. Acceleration is decent, 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds with an 84 kilowatt hour battery, gets a range of about 370 kilometers. Rapid DC charging, CCS, 100 kilowatt charging cap. This is a phenomenal car for high performance driving and superb fit and finish that you would expect from a luxury brand like Jaguar. One of the cons is the interface is a bit old-fashioned, has a bit of a lag and small icons. A very, very good offering from Jaguar for people who are primarily interested in a luxury, well-known brand that drives extremely well. The long-anticipated arrival of the Porsche Taycan means we now have, for 2020, a very high-performance option for those that have the stomach to invest a couple of $100,000 in a vehicle. It accelerates at a shockingly fast 2.8 seconds, 0 to 60 for the Turbo S, and about 4.8 seconds for the 4S. The price, well, the price will be uncomfortable for probably most people at between $120,000 and $215,000, depending on what options. I actually tried to build one online, and when they say the base price is $119,000, I can assure you that is with nothing on it. The minute you start to build, it very quickly goes to 130,000. So I think it's more realistic to say that these cars begin at 130,000 and go up to 230,000 for the Turbo S. It has the equivalent of about 462 horsepower, which is unbelievably huge. 93 kilowatt hour battery with a range of about 380 kilometers, which is pretty good for a very heavy car at about 5,100 pounds. Maximum speed of 260 kilometers an hour. Pro of this car is the driving performance. The fit and finish is everything that you would expect from Porsche. It's top notch. One of the cons is a little bit disappointing battery range. Not as a complete charging network. In fact, Porsche advertises a very rapid charge rate, but there are actually very few chargers that will charge at 320 kilowatts. Tesla continues to provide the Model 3 for 2020. This is the latest entry for Tesla, one of the oldest and longest producers of electric vehicles. They offer rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, long range, standard range, and performance. And price varies from $55,000 to $75,000. Comes with a 75 kilowatt hour battery and provides a range of between 400 kilometers to 525 kilometers. The acceleration is fantastic, between 0 and 100 in 5.2 for a standard Model 3, all the way down to 3.4 seconds for a performance model. The maximum speed is between 225 kilometers an hour or 261 kilometers an hour, very similar to a Porsche. Rapid DC 250 kilowatt charging is one of the fastest in the industry, so it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to 80% from 30% with the Tesla charge format in optimal conditions. The pros of this car is the driving performance, fit and finish is superb. Maybe not Porsche standard, but it's pretty darn good. It leads in technology for both the actual driving performance and the user interface, for over-air updates, for regular improvements to horsepower and completely new function and new features. The battery management is superior in the industry for managing cold and hot. Maintenance is very cleverly done with a touch of the button on the app. The space for storage is amazing. So really, one of the only cons, in my opinion, is that it's a little bit pricier than the other offerings. Another entry for 2020, it's the older Model S, but with some upgrades. It's still a luxurious and a terrifically performing car. It starts at about $109,000 in Canada and goes up to about $135,000. Comes with a 100 kilowatt battery, which gives it an incredible range of 600 kilometers or 500 kilometers, 560 kilometers, depending on which version. Has fast DC charging, a little bit slower than a Tesla Model 3 at 150 kilowatts. It has a maximum cruising speed of 250 kilometers an hour. Acceleration is superb, 0 to 60 at 3.8 seconds, down to 2.6 seconds for the performance mode and ludicrous. This is faster than a Taycan, which is almost double the price. There's terrific fit and finish, vegan and sustainable materials. The Pro, one of the fastest production cars available with the longest range EV on the market. Luxurious, well built, tons of storage room for passengers. But one of the cons is it's a little bit pricey, but it is competitive with a similar class and luxury brand. Has slightly older battery tech than, let's say, a Model 3, so it can't take full advantage of version 3 supercharging charging speeds, but it's still a fantastic choice if you're looking for a high-performing and luxurious electric vehicle. Another entry by Tesla for 2020 is a Tesla Model X. This is a very unique, luxurious, and high-performing SUV. ranges in price between $116,000 and $145,000 in Canada. Comes with a 100 kilowatt hour battery and a range of about 500 kilometers, which is one of the longest for SUVs. Charging is very rapid at 150 kilowatts fast DC charging, and gets a maximum road speed of about 250 kilometers an hour. Acceleration is unbelievable, 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds for a regular version and 2.9 seconds for the P100D version. It has different configurations for the number of passengers it carries, so 5, 6, or 7, and very unique Falcon rear doors, which are usually an eye catcher, but actually do add to convenience for getting in and out of the vehicle. It has automatic doors for the driver's side as well as the passenger side, and some of the most advanced technology for an SUV on the market. So one of the pros, I would say, extremely advanced technology, fantastic driving performance, ridiculously fast and great handling, and long range. The fit and finish in the interior is superb, lots of interior space, great range, and a superb charging network. One of the cons is a bit pricey for an SUV. It has some of the older charging technology, which caps it at 150 kilowatt hour charging, so not quite as fast as a Model 3. Next comes an offering from Audi. Audi brings the e-tron from 2019 into 2020. The price is very comparable to a Tesla Model S at about a range of $90,000 to $100,000. However, just like Porsche, when you actually go in and build one online, you'll see that there are lots of upgrades available. In fact, lots of upgrades, and they are pricey. So the price for the vehicle quickly climbs. This vehicle is first and foremost about luxury and performance. The handling is fantastic. It handles just like an Audi, and the fit and finish is everything you would expect from an Audi, which is beautiful. It comes with a 95 kilowatt battery, fast DC charging in a CCS format, which is capped at 150 kilowatts. It gets about 500 kilometer range, and you can deliver that with the fast charging in about 30 minutes. It does use the Electrified America infrastructure set up by Volkswagen. So I would say the pros of this vehicle are performance and handling, extremely quiet interior, superb fit and finish, great range, luxury, great build quality, superior to most other EVs for its interior, and I would say good charge rate at 150 kilowatts. One of the cons is perhaps a little bit disappointing range for the amount of kilowatt hour battery that it has. The acceleration isn't comparable to a performance Tesla or a Porsche, but it's pretty good. The software interface is a little bit disappointing. It feels there's some lag, and it's definitely, you can tell that it's a legacy car manufacturer type software interface. The range estimate doesn't seem to be very accurate on the display. It seems to overestimate the range and then catches up as you travel. There isn't any one pedal driving. You have to take your foot off the accelerator and press on the brake, which is a little bit disappointing because most other electric vehicles have one pedal driving. There's definitely less infrastructure with Electrify America than with Tesla. However, it is getting much better very rapidly. It does have the same price point as a Model S with 600 kilometer range. So Audi has to know that they are competing with a much longer range and higher performing car. However, I think they'll win out in luxury and performance. Volkswagen for 2020 has the e-Golf. This is a little bit of bad timing because Volkswagen is coming out with a bunch of other new electric vehicles, but they won't be here until well into 2021 or 2022. So for now, all they have is the e-Golf, which is still a fantastic offering. It has all the performance characteristics of a Golf, which has decades of history in terms of reliability and performance and fit and finish. It does have a 35 kilowatt hour battery, which is a bit on the small size, and so it only gets a range of about 190 kilometers, which as a city commuter, but it doesn't do much if somebody wants to do any long distance traveling. It comes with a fast charge capability for DC charging, uses a CCS format, but has a 40 kilowatt cap in its charging rate. It accelerates 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds. So the pros of the e-Golf is that it's a good build quality, great performance and handling, just like any other Golf, has decent amount of storage, just like any other hatchback or a Golf hatchback. But one of the cons is very old battery tech, no battery management to speak of. 40 kilowatt cap is quite small, but a small battery also means that it charges rapidly, but it still doesn't give you much range. The other thing is that it's older technology, which is likely going to be phased out with their new releases. So you would be buying into an older technology. I'm quite excited to say that a new offering for 2020 in Canada is going to be the electric Mini. Now, as I release this video, it's not actually currently available, but according to the dealer website, it should be out in the spring of this year. Keep your eye open for it because this could be a lot of fun for EV drivers. The price should be about $39,000 and can go up as high as $47,000 depending on which packages you want. However, you get sort of a decent middle of the range package for $44,000. The battery is 35 kilowatt hour with a range of about 250 kilometers, which isn't bad for a city commuter, and you could actually even take it some distance. Acceleration is modest at 0 to 60 in 7.3 seconds. The pros of this car: looks great, fun city commuter, drive and performance and handling of a Mini are excellent. There's years of experience with that. The interior fit and finish looks great and is typical of a Mini Cooper quality. One of the cons is, I guess, a poor range. Being priced in Europe as a very inexpensive EV. However, in Canada, the price is less impressive as an advantage, as it looks like they're going to bring it in at a very competitive price with a lot of other EVs that offer longer range and higher performance. So it may be a tough sell. BMW has an entry for 2020 with its i3. Now, this is an older tech EV. It's been out for many years. However, you can still purchase it for $44,000, gets you an acceleration of 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.9 seconds, so decent. Comes with a very small 22 kilowatt hour battery and a usable range of about 200 kilometers. Rapid DC charging with CCS, but capped at 50 kilowatts. Pro, this is a great commuter, small car, but one of the cons is older technology, limited fast charge capped at 50 kilowatts, limited range, and really prevents any sort of useful traveling with this car. This video is a lot longer than I had intended, but that's good news. It's a good thing because the reason it's so long is there are so many choices for 2020 for purchasing an electric vehicle. To sum up, your choices for a mid-range car or SUV includes many options from some of the large car manufacturers like Hyundai, like Kia, like Nissan, Volkswagen, just to name a few. You just have to choose the driving range, the format, and battery tech that's suitable to how you want to use the car. In the luxury and high performance space, there are also many options this year. You just need to decide which car suits your driving style, the needs that you might have, and your budget, of course. This has been Edward for Electron Transport. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends.